Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to this Wyatt Sicks video. Obviously, we've got so much to talk about. 2 tweets, which we didn't get a chance to talk about. I did put them on the channel. I spoke about them on the community page, but we'll touch on them here. And then, of course, everything that went down on Raw. I don't feel like there was loads of Easter eggs or Easter eggs that weren't very obvious. I think everything is kind of out there, right? I don't think there's much that needs investigating, shall we say. I do think there's one mystery, though, and it's one that people have hit me up about, and that is where was Nikki. Nikki just didn't seem to be around. They did show her face at the end, but that's a pre-recorded clip that we've seen many times. I don't know where Nikki was, and there's a few theories, fan theories. She's gone off looking for Alexa and all that kind of stuff. I don't know that there's any truth to that. It could also be true that she had a bit of a family emergency, or, you know, there was issues with travel, or I genuinely don't know. I was surprised to not see her. I thought she would be there when the Wyatt Sicks got involved in the match, certainly to try and deal with Ivy Nile. So, yeah, definitely a talking point. Definitely some theories doing the rounds on that, but obviously we don't know what the truth is. It'd be very interesting if she puts a tweet out, so be worth keeping an eye out for that now that the show has ended. No one's tagged me in anything. I'm not aware that she has tweeted. So I would say that's a big talking point. I feel like what Howdy was wearing, you know, that kind of gauntlet on his arm that was made from a material that was the Fiends. That's nice. That's really cool. That's the kind of thing I was hoping for. Something different, a talking point, something that is new, that we've not seen before. That's good. I thought the match, from what I saw, had a good pace to it. There were some nice moments. Obviously, there was the bit on the outside. There was the exploder suplex on the corner, which happened. There was the claw. There was the dancing. Loads of little callbacks. But, yeah, I think it all shook out to be, like, quite a good main event. And I thought Howdy looked good, but I know people are really split on the hair. I think people are split on the mask as well, and I can understand that. I personally would prefer him to go back to the dreads. And I really like the more pale mask. This is more blue. But, you know, it's not a bad look. I still think it's better than OG Howdy, personally. We're talking about personal preference. I would take what we got tonight over OG Howdy any day of the week. But I think the Howdy that was watching the Wyatt Sicks in the rocking chair, that's my favourite version of him. So, yeah, I think they probably did that because they wanted his hair to be loose, so that, like, when he flipped it back or he got hit, his hair would, like, swoosh around and would just look a bit more dramatic. I know there is the theory out there that he's not got the dreads because they're quite heavy, and people are wondering, is it a case that, like, it's hard to wrestle with those? But Bray did. Bray did. We've seen other people wrestle with them, so I don't know that I subscribe to that theory personally, but I don't know. It could be that this is easier, but I think there might also be something in allowing the hair to flow. Certainly when he gets hit, it looks more dramatic, you know. But anyway, we're going to cover all of that and more. So let's take a walk, shall we? So Austin, thank you. Thank you to everyone that tagged me in stuff. I really spent quite a bit of time today going through my notifications, trying to make sure that I was at least leaving likes and following people where I could. So, Austin, thank you. I added this. So, obviously, we've got a code here, which is a cipher of some description. Normally, it's Caesar ciphers. That's where you move all the letters, say 2 over or 3 over, and you do the exact same thing to all of them, and then it reveals the message, right? I believe this was a little bit of a different cipher, actually. And this image, straight away, I knew we'd seen it before. It featured during White Rabbit. And I think Bray even had it on a shirt, this image, right? So it's an image we've seen before. So let's go down to the bottom. So here, Casey said, this is Bray's post from July 2022, and it matches the Wyatt Sicks post today. So the same image from Bray 2022. I will place on his shoulder the key to the house of David. What he opens, no one can shut. And what he shuts, no one can open. So I will place on his shoulder the key to the house of David. This has obviously resulted in people connecting it to the key that has been shown in Howdy's hair. There is a little key that is in his hair. And now that the Wyatt Sicks have tweeted out this picture, people are making the connection that the key spoken about here could be the key in Howdy's hair, right? Which would open up doors that no one can shut and will shut doors that no one can open, which obviously sounds very cool, right? I don't know that that's what they were trying to communicate with the picture. I think they were trying to communicate that they were going to take the head off the snake. They were going to go for the head tonight. They were going to take out the leader of this group. Because if you take the head off, not literally, but if you take out the leader, then it might be easier to reach the followers, right? You might be able to save them. It might be they're good people. It's just they're being led astray. So if they take out Chad Gable, if they take off the head of the snake, then they should be able to deal with this American-made problem that they've got, right? So I believe that's what they were trying to communicate. But there could have been another meaning which would be connected to this quote, right? So here, Uncle Revel said, it's actually a tweet. It makes reference to a key. Could this be the mysterious key in Howdy's hair, right? So Uncle Revel theorizing about that. I really like the theory. I like it. I don't know that that's what they were trying to communicate. They could have been communicating more than one thing, but I think they were trying to communicate taking the head off the snake that is American made so that they could bring it down tonight. And that's what this match with Chad was all about. So Detective of Wrestling said, I was looking at the post and I noticed it said Atbash Cypher. Could this possibly be a reference to Bash in Berlin? Maybe Gable loses to Howdy tonight. And at Bash in Berlin, the Wyatt Sicks put American made to rest. So good theory. I don't think it's played out that way, but Detective of Wrestling, really good thought. Slamex finding out that this was not a Caesar Cypher. It was an Atbash Cypher, which is really good because Bash in Berlin is this weekend, right? That is where I think it's a little bit more complicated than just moving over a few letters, right? But it translates as we must cut off the heads. So we must cut off the heads. And again, there was some confusion on the live stream. I don't think this is them saying they were literally going to try and cut his head off, or they were going to try and cause that kind of violence. I think they were saying that they need to take the head off so that they can, you know, bring the creeds back. They're being led astray and we need to bring them back. And if we can deal with the mastermind, if we can take the head off this thing, then we might be able to save the creeds. We might be able to save Ivy Nile. Right, here, Word of Wrestling said, hear me out. Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, gives the key to Uncle Howdy to represent him and give him authority over his legacy. Howdy can now open doors that can't be locked, but also lock doors that can't be open, like the Firefly Funhouse. So hopefully this is making sense to people, right? This is like the key of David's. The key symbolizes authority. Given to representatives, gives him authority over the kingdom. The key of David is also mentioned in Revelation. It's described as opening doors that no one can lock and locking doors no one can open. Is that what the key is in his hair? Is that the key to David's? I would say that this is the best theory I've seen on the key. And it's all come out of the tweets today, so I do like it. I do like it. I do just question if that's what they were trying to communicate, though. But I do like it. Word of Wrestling said, posted previously by Bray Wyatt, referencing the key of David. Howdy has got the key. Last therapy session, we heard that doors shall be opened. And that's true. The last sit-down interview thing with Bo before tonight, we did hear the phrase, doors shall be opened. And up here, so we've got LL Like Cool J said the Wyatt Sicks are cooking. We must cut off the head is the cipher, right? So that's what that says. The imagery featured on Bray's jacket that he wore in 2022-2023. The image is called the Headless Soul, an illustration of Dante's The Divine Comedy, and we know how much that has inspired Bray. We've spoken about Dante's Inferno and the Divine Comedy lots of times. So a headless figure approaches Dante holding his head in front of him as if it was a lantern. And, you know, we saw Bray holding his own head in front of him. When he was the Fiend, he came down with what looked to be a Bray Wyatt head as the lantern. So I feel like this was a massive influence on Bray. Massive. The figure holds his head up to the poets so that he can hear him better. The figure says that he is Bertrand de Born and that he is set, the young king, to mutiny against his own father. Born also states that because he parted father and son, he spends eternity with his head parted from his body. So a little bit of information there about this image and the background of this image. Very powerful image. So that was that one. Then we got another tweet. So this one, another cipher, this time I believe a Caesar cipher, and binary, right? And an image of Howdy giving a sister Abigail to Chad's. So Abby said the binary code is Matthew 7:15, and the verse is, beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but underneath are ravenous wolves, right? Word of Wrestling said, remove the scales from your eyes. Another post from the Wyatt Sicks just dropped. So that translates as remove the scales from your eyes. And this is to do with Matthew, was it 7:15? 7:15. And that verse. So that's binary code there. Fear not the wolves led by sheep. Instead, you should fear the sheep led by wolves. That was a Bray Wyatt quote, all to do with sheeps and wolves. And all of this was referenced tonight by Bo in that little sit-down interview thing he did, you know. He did a bit of a video package. It was good. I didn't think there was much to take from it, but it was good. It was intense, and it featured a lot of this text. So, you know, we got things mentioned here and in other previous tweets that the Wyatt Sicks had tweeted out. So very good. This to me was 2 tweets setting up the match tonight, sending a message to American Maids and to Chad Gable about this match tonight and about false prophets and taking off the head and dealing with this problem once and for all, and wolves in sheep's clothing and all that kind of stuff, right? So some people looked at this and wondered if it was leading to the return of Alexa and all that. There was none of that there for me. Nothing here indicated that. It was all building up to Raw, right? So that then leads us here to what went down on the show. This is good. Wrestling Next Gen just pointing out that this tweet from the other day has got liar written in red, which is obviously Bray Wyatt, the words of the red. And more than a reckoning, a purge. That was also mentioned by Bo in his little interview thing that he did today. Joker just saying, if they really wanted to pee off Uncle Howdy, American Made should have called themselves the new US Express. I like that. Because obviously US Express was Bo and Bray's dad and their uncle. So had they have called themselves the new and improved US Express, that would have been some really good trolling. So yeah, I like that. TJF 1983 just tagging me in this because this was Dexter Lumis that posted this. US Network asking the question, Uncle Howdy's debut match. Uncle Howdy got this, or Chad Gable's going to win? Who was going to be victorious, right? I believe overwhelmingly Uncle Howdy's got this was victorious, but this was reposted by Dexter Lumis. Isaac said the thing that's on Bo's wrist is material from Bray's Fiend ring gear. That is awesome. This thing here which was a really lovely touch, I thought. Anna said, here's some of what was missed. Now, I can't really play this. I mean, there's 10 seconds here. I wonder if I can get some out of it. Is this the upside down? Yeah, we saw that, actually. We did get this. So, upside down in the corner, we did wonder if we would get that. Obviously, a tribute to Bray. And there was lots of tributes to Bray. We got the yeah tribute to Luke Harper, Brodie Lee. But we got this, which was a tribute to Bray. We got the dancing, of course, which is a callback to Bray and John Cena. So we got that. There was quite a few, actually. Quite a few little bits. So, Anna, thank you. Little Fuego said, I wonder why the hair is different 2 weeks in a row. I feel like this is similar to last week's. I couldn't tell you if it is identical, but it's certainly not the dreads that we've seen from Howdy before. And I do wonder if it's so that his hair is more like free and it just looks better when it's being like hit. I'm not sure the reasoning. I wonder if he'll go back to the dreads. I personally prefer the dreads. But this is a perfectly fine look. And I love his jacket. I think his jacket looks awesome. When he came out and he's got like the collar up, he just looks so cool. So I do like that. Yeah. Here we go. This is... Yeah. I thought you looked good. That was good. Jordan, thank you. Little Fuego, there we go. Slam X. Upside down in the corner, of course. Sean said, Uncle Howdy's attire was all black with a red glove. The colour red in a world of black and whites. Yeah, very good. Because we know that was made from Fiend material. So that being the only red. And all the rest of it is black. I wonder if there was that meaning to it. Dancing with Gable, said TJF. Yep. Right here, dancing away with Gable, just like we saw Bray do with Cena in the past. Here we've got this at the end. So here we've got Uncle Howdy in the entranceway. And he just points, puts his arm in the air, exits and walks to the back. The hair looks good, I think, here as he's walking away. Kind of adds to the presence and the size of him, you know. So there we go. And I believe I think it is a point. It's hard to make out exactly. It's not the sharpest image. But Fadeaway Media said points to Sky for his brother. Beautiful. So we never saw that, of course. Gina says such a great tribute. So there we go. Bray dancing with Cena. This was after Raw went off air, said Julian. So the Firefly is out, obviously coming out to shatter. And all of that felt like just Bray, really. I mean, even Corey Graves said it was eerily similar to what we have seen in the past. And there we go. There we've got him in the ring. Howdy pointing up to the heavens. His arms outstretched as well. It's great. Brilliant. So, yeah. From Fightful. WWE an hour ago. Putting that out. Look at that. That'll be in my nightmares tonight. It's a good... I like the mask. I ain't got a problem with it. I think I just prefer the paler mask. This has still got, like, dirty bits to it and everything, so... Yeah, very good. Anime Fiend Zeno said, I've got a theory. Nikki is opening the door and she's let Alexa in. That's why she's not here tonight. Next week, maybe we see Alexa return alongside Nikki and Wyatt Sicks. Well, I'll tell you what, let's just jump over. We don't normally do this. Let's have a look at my notifications, right? And we'll see kind of what we've got. So there's Anime Fiend Zeno again talking about Nikki open the door, letting Alexa in. I don't know that Nikki has Nikki tweeted? No tweet seemingly from Nikki at the moment. Yowie wowie, my brothers and sisters. I don't know if I mentioned, but you lot scored it a great 74%, right? A great 74%. So that was from the clip, the interview earlier. I stopped to marvel at all our accomplishments and nearly stepped on a serpent. Who is Bo speaking about? I thought it was Chad's. Bray? Uncle Howdy as his alter ego or Alexa? I think there is a higher power, says Word of Wrestling. I took it as Chad's, because I think they showed Chad on screen. Corey said, feud definitely continuing and leading to a Fireflies type of match, probably with all members of both groups. Yeah, I agree. It doesn't feel like this is done. Doesn't feel like it's ended. I don't know that it's leading to a Firefly Funhouse type match. Firefly Funhouse match was during the pandemic. I don't know we can do that now, because that kind of a cinematic match, I think they'd want to do it in front of a crowd. And obviously you've got a lot more limitations, but we could definitely do something fun. We could definitely do something fun. Word of Wrestling said, did the door open tonight during the Bo Dallas vignette on TV? Doors shall open is what we heard last. And in a quick second flash, I found this by slowing down the whole thing. So a door being opened, which I feel like we've seen before. I feel like I've seen that footage before, but of that door being opened. I don't know if that featured during Nightbirds. But, yeah, a door being opened, potentially unseen. Well, potentially. Yeah, I don't mind that, but I don't mind that. Could be something to the doors. SFG said, we now have our third connection between Dakota and the Wyatts. We had the Pluto logo behind her. The music played during that controller promo. Then when she had the Pluto logo behind her, she said, cutting the head off the snake. That line was used during the Howdy VHS. I mean, I each one of these have been, we've said there, well, not this last one, but each one we've said, oh, I think that's just a coincidence. Think that's just a coincidence. When do you get to the point where it stops being all of it is just a coincidence? I don't know, to be honest. I don't have the answer to that. I'm still struggling with them going after Dakota, because that would mean they're going after, I would imagine, Damage Control. And Damage Control are faces at the moment. And we don't have that many women in the group. Unless we're planting seeds for an Alexa comes in, but I don't know. I do struggle with it. And I am someone that's a bit on the kind of coincidence side. But again, when do we get to the point where we say, well, it can't all be a coincidence? And I think we've got back to kind of where I got up to. Let's just have a look. Nikki Cross, shall we? Nikki Glenn Cross. I don't think she's tweeted out. No. Nothing. Still nothing from Nikki, so that is the very latest. So there we go. Just over 20 minutes. We did well, actually, to get all of that in. You lot scoring it great, 74%. I think this was a success. I don't know that they got everything right. I'm sure there will be tweaks and changes as we continue to move forward, but I think they certainly got enough right. And where do you think Nikki Cross was? Feel free to let us know down in the comments below. Thanks a lot for joining me. Appreciate the support as always. I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.